Hi, Clementine. Hello, friends. This is Sonia from An Enthusiastic Reader. Happy New Year. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? I think it might be. First of all, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers I have. I don't know what happened to me on the algorithm, but I have never had a response to a video like my best of 2023 reads. I just don't know what happened, but I have over 100 new subscribers, and I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. So what is new with me? What is new with me? I rearranged my office. I used to have my back to the books and the bookshelf, but I'm feeling really constrained that way, and I felt like I didn't have enough room to spread out with all of my stuff. And so I got rid of some furniture out of here, and I turned my desk. Now I have my back to the closet and to the cat condo back there and to the door. But I just feel a lot more free. And I got a new computer. It's a Windows 11 all-in-one computer. My biggest complaint about it is that Microsoft has just insinuated itself and its AI into everything, and it tracks you all the time, and it serves you ads, and it's like, I do not want ads on a new computer I paid for. So it took me hours to do YouTube videos to figure out how to Microsoft my computer, and I'm sure it's still tracking me in some way, but it is better. But there are just some very frustrating things with the new operating. I had Windows 10 and now I have Windows 11, and they are just much more like handcuffs on me. The good thing is I was able to take my old monitor and plug it into my new computer, so I have two monitors now. And when I am doing any kind of layout in InDesign or something, I can spread things out to two monitors. So that is a game changer. I've never had the luxury of that before, and that's making me really happy. What else? I think that's really about it for now. Just kind of decompressing from the holidays. We had a garland on our mantle, and it has little Christmas lights on it, and I refused to take that down until the end of January so we could just get through the doldrums of January and enjoy the month for what it is. It's been cold, as I'm sure it has been everywhere else, but it was so cold last week, and now it's a balmy, it's 44 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is Celsius. Just think of it as brisk, and I'm just happy to have sunshine and blue sky again. All right, that's enough of my catch up with you. That's enough. I have had this great start to my reading year. I have finished 4 books since the beginning of January, and I would like to talk to you about them. The first one that I have is The Feast by Margaret Kennedy. This is a McNally reissue in this really pretty edition. I ended up reading the Kindle version, but I just love the feel of this book. It's just gorgeous. And this is the story of 1947 Cornwall. So it's post World War II. There are still rations for things like sugar, so it's hard to get food. But there's a hotel on the coast of Cornwall. At the very beginning, in the prologue, we find out that the cliff that was sitting over it has fallen and crushed the hotel, and some people have died and some people have not died. And so the whole novel is about getting to know all the people who were at this hotel the week before it is crushed. So you don't know who's going to make it. You see a train journey where some of the guests are arriving on the train and what happened on the train, and you get to know the ins and outs of a bunch of different characters. You get to know about their broken marriages, their pasts, their heartbreaks, their little petty resentments, the way they treat each other, and you also get to know the staff of the hotel who is paid to be there, and you get to know the owners of the hotel and the things that have befallen them to make them really come down in a financial way and doing everything they can to get the hotel to survive. So there's just a lot of things at play, but it all works so well. The pacing is great. The writing is funny and harrowing at times, and it's almost a satire. I would say it's kind of a comic novel, but about serious things. And I wanted to give you a little taste of the writing. So this is the maid is named Nancibel, and so she's going down to bring some towels and stuff to this couple who is a childless couple named the Paleys. And so I just wanted to read you a little sample of the text so you could get a feel for it. Okay. Let's see. She, Nancibel, knocked at the Paley's door and was told to come in. The early light streamed through the uncurtained window. Mr. Paley still sat there, writing in an exercise book. Mrs. Paley lay in her half of the bed, her neat gray head swathed in a pink net setting cap. There was a petrified atmosphere about the room, as though something violent had been going on there, and its occupants struck into immobility only by Nancibel's knock. The Paleys always gave off this suggestion of a violence momentarily suspended. They would eat their breakfast every morning in a somber, concentrated silence, as though bracing themselves for some enormous effort to be sustained during the day. Shortly afterwards, they could be seen crossing the sands carrying books, cushions, and a picnic basket. They walked in single file, Mr. Paley leading. Up the cliff path they went, and out of sight over the headland. It was difficult to believe that they had done nothing all day save read and eat sandwiches. So there are always these little asides about the menacing thoughts that all of the characters are having about each other and the judgments they put on each other and all of their agendas. And this was just fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I would love to read more Margaret Kennedy novels. Most of them I think are out of print, but I am going to see what I can do to get a hold of some more of her work because I really like it. So it's kind of in that post-war British novelists, lady novelists, and it kind of fits in Elizabeth Taylor, maybe Barbara Pym, kind of in Elizabeth Jane Howard, maybe all lumped into this category, but they all have their own singular way of telling great stories about characters. Okay, the next book I finished was Night by Edna O'Brien. This is a novella. In the reading all of Edna O'Brien's work in chronological order, and this is a very, I would say, middling novella. It's only minorly successful, I would say. Here's the cover. Here's the book. There was a lot of good writing in here, but the story was pretty thin. It's a woman who is very embittered and lonely, and she is spending the night thinking about her past. So to me, the parts where she is thinking about her past, her growing up in rural Ireland, and the way she met her husband, the way she had a child, some interactions that she had with her father after her mother died. I mean, there were some great little set pieces of writing in here, but overall, it was pretty flimsy. So it was written in 1972. So just thinking about what Edna O'Brien was doing in that time in her life, and I think she was probably taking a lot of her freedoms from being divorced and maybe weaving them into the story. One thing that's really different about this book than have been in the other novels so far is that this character has an incredibly active sex life, and she is completely obsessed with very lurid details of her sex life that I don't think we've really seen. I mean, she really just bears all in this, and so that is a change from some of the earlier work, and I think probably from some of the later work too. Okay, so anyway, not that successful. Sean didn't like it very much. I would never read it again, but again, there were some good moments. Next, I read a book called Faith by Jennifer Haigh. And I think Evening Reader, Priscilla talked about Jennifer Haigh in a previous video recently, talking about how she's kind of an underread novelist, and I'm always into reading underread novelists. And this was a really interesting and thoughtful novel set in the 2010s time when this Irish Catholic family in Boston is kind of estranged. The daughter, who is the narrator and the protagonist, has moved away to Pennsylvania somewhere because she doesn't really want to be around her mother and father that much. And she had an older half-brother who is a priest, and they're not close, and she's kind of close with her brother, her biologically full brother, but for many reasons, she doesn't feel like she identifies as Irish Catholic anymore and doesn't really want to be a part of that world. And as the story unspools and she is telling the story, it's interesting. She tells it from her perspective, but she also admits that she's writing some of the sections. And so it's a written work about something that happens to her brother, the priest, who is suddenly accused of sexual abuse against a child and is cast out of the church. So that is something that happens. But we get to see this really beautifully unspooling of the plot and a lot of the background story. So she goes way into the past, talks about childhoods and things that happened along the way. And it's not completely linear. And so things slowly unravel and are revealed to us so that we get a greater understanding of what happened to all of the characters, bit by bit by bit. And the conceit is that she's writing this down for posterity. So she's kind of a cipher through the story. You don't know much about her as the narrator until you get more towards the end and you get to see more of her personality come out as she's relating all of these stories of her mother and brother and father and her other brother. So it's definitely a family novel, definitely confronts very difficult issues about the predominance of the Catholic Church and the way that everyone is under the scrutiny. And especially in Boston, it's such an enmeshed part of the community that you have to be very careful about your behavior because everyone talks about everything. So I really liked it. This was my first novel by Jennifer Haigh, and I will definitely check out more. So that was great. And finally, another Irish, I'm on an Irish streak, but I read the book called The Rachel Incident by Carolyn O'Donoghue. This was, I think, released last year. I have it on my Kindle, so I don't have a physical copy. This book was my daughter Sabrina's favorite read of 2023, and I'm going to link her video about her favorite reads of 2023 in case you're interested, because she's a librarian. She reads a lot of more contemporary, diverse, queer, all kinds of different novels through the year, and this was her favorite novel of the year. So I'm spoiling it by telling you this, but she told me she thought I would really like it, and so I was kind of putting it off, and then I decided, okay, I saw her video and I'm going to read it, and she was right. This was a really delightful, funny novel. It's an Irish novel. It's set during the financial crisis around 2007 to 2010, and it's about a girl who, I think she's like 21-ish. She's in her final year of university. She gets a crush on her English professor. So this all takes place in Cork in Ireland. And she gets a roommate named James, and they become best friends. And so it's almost like a romantic comedy, but it's in a sense, but it's much more about friendship and about discovering who you are and your sexuality and just the follies of being 21 and 22 and the bad decisions that you make. And you throw in a lot of drinking and poverty and estrangement from family. And so there's just so much to it, but the characters are so well drawn and so funny. And I read it last weekend, so I just zoomed through it. I could not put it down. I wanted to know what was going to happen in the lives of all these characters. And so it was definitely a hit for me. And I think if you liked romantic comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld, this might be along the same trajectory, although throw in Ireland and throw in just really vibrant personalities and secrets and lies. And I mean, it is a roller coaster of emotions, and I'm so glad I read it, and I would definitely read it again. So this was excellent. Okay, so those are the books that I finished. What am I reading now? I am working on Best American Short Stories of 2023, edited by Minjin Lee. I'm reading this as a buddy read with my friend Teresa. The first 4 stories have all been duds, so they have not been very good. Wondering why they've been included as Best American Short Stories. Not really sure. So we're plowing through, because I think this is maybe the 3rd or 4th year in a row we've been doing this project of reading a couple of stories a week out of here. So I do know there's a story by Ling Ma that I read in Bliss Montage that's included. Anyway, there's a short story by Lauren Groff, and I think I like her better as a short story writer than a novelist, although I did love Fates and Furies and I loved Arcadia. Those are the 2 novels of hers that I liked. I did not like, I'm drawing a blank, but the book about the convent, I did not like that, and I quit reading it halfway through. It took such a wild turn and did not feel historical in any way. It felt like a fantasy, and I just didn't care for it. But Fates and Furies, I thought, was really a powerful novel, and such a great way of showing 2 different sides of a marriage. I like books about marriages and relationships and friendships. So, and the Ling Ma story I know is really good. So I'm hoping there will be a few more really good stories in Best American Short Stories, but we will see. And I'm reading Secrets of Happiness by Joan Silber. This is a novel. The way she writes novels recently is they're almost like interconnected short stories. They're long chapters in the singular perspective of a character, but they're all related to each other in some way. So there's a chain of narrative that goes through. I've read 2 of the stories, both by sons of a particular father, but sons that didn't know each other. So you get one side and then you get the next side. And then I think the 3rd chapter is about a character who is tangentially related to one of the brothers. But anyway, I love the novels of Joan Silber and the short stories. I think she is such a good way of writing characters and differentiating them, and I've read quite a few of her novels, and she's one of those novelists that I know I can trust. And even if I don't like every single character, or I just like the life and the energy that is built into her writing. So that is really a highlight for me. So that is all I have to report for now. And I am thinking about what books I might read for Black History Month next month, in addition to whatever book club books are coming up. So I will definitely let you know what's happening, and you should see me soon in another Friday Reads and maybe something else. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.